Jong and Pique had a fight. De Jong is getting ready to leave the team. The video that Gerard Pique, who was on the agenda of the magazine with his deception of Shakira, did not include Frenkie de Jong and his lover in the Barcelona match, fell on social media. In the video shared by a fan, Pique, who watched the match in the stands, did not include Barca midfielder Frenkie de Jong and his lover Mickey Keemany. It was seen that Pique, who insisted on not staying seated despite the warnings, got angry with the involvement of another fan and entered into a bilateral dialogue with the fan. It is said that De Jong is very angry at this situation and does not want to stay in such a team. De Jong probably wanted to leave the team at the end of the season, but after this situation he definitely does not want to stay in the team. If even Pique, the captain of the Barcelona team, disrespects a Barcelona player in this way, leaving the team would be a good decision. The Manchester United coach also definitely wants De Jong to join the team. Barcelona also has no choice but to sell De Jong due to financial problems. So what is your opinion on this? Would you like to see De Jong in Manchester? Manchester United have added Mason Mount to transfer wishlist. Manchester United's eyes are on Chelsea's forward Mason Mount. Manchester United Football Club is always evolving and adapting under the management of Erik ten Hag. Despite being in office for a relatively short time, that's one of his strengths as a manager. As we approach the summer, the gaffer is no doubt strategizing and planning the best players to bring in during this window. Several positions seem to be priority: a striker, a midfielder, and another centre-half. It looks like United have added 24-year-old Mason Mount to their list of midfield goals. The Guardian added that Bellingham is at the top of that list, but that the club needs other options if it proves too expensive. It is stated that Mount could be bought for around £50 million this summer, with only 1 year left on his contract. Contract negotiations have stalled because Mount is a relatively low earner at Chelsea. So what's your opinion on this? Do you think a move by Manchester United for Mason Mount would make sense? Paris Saint-Germain plan shock £50 million move for Manchester United captain Harry Maguire. Paris Saint-Germain is making a surprise move for Manchester United captain Harry Maguire ahead of the summer transfer window, according to The Sun. The English international had a rough season with the Red Devils and is now a backup defender behind Raphael Varane and Lisandro Martinez. Victor Lindelof and Luke Shaw have also been preferred ahead of him on occasions this term, and it is likely that the 30-year-old will move on during the summer. Serie A giants Inter Milan have been credited with an interest in his services, but The Sun claimed that Paris Saint-Germain could make a shock £50 million move for him. The report adds that a deal was on the table for the Red Devils captain during the winter transfer window, but time was running out before a transfer could be completed. Maguire has clearly fallen out of favor with manager Erik ten Hag this season and has been used sparingly from the starting lineup over the past few months. The English star has remained with the team, but will likely want to leave the team as his constant lack of play could hinder his selection for the national team. The centre-back is one of the undisputed starters for the Three Lions, but he can't take his place for granted and needs regular minutes to receive future call-ups. So what's your opinion on this? Should Maguire be sold? Erik ten Hag hails 2 Manchester United players after the 4-1 win over Real Betis. Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag raised Wout Weghorst and Bruno Fernandes for their fine performances against Real Betis last night. Ten Hag wanted a response after the horror show at Liverpool and his players delivered. Ten Hag told BT Sport after the match, "We performed great, we made good passes and created a lot of chances. It's always good to see how the team reacts after a setback. Bruno Fernandes was great, he led the team with control of the game and passes, and then he scored a goal. Weghorst played the way I wanted and scored today." After missing several chances, Weghorst finally got his first Old Trafford goal. As soon as his strike found the back of the net, the Dutchman bursts into tears. Manchester United will face Premier League rivals Southampton at Old Trafford on Sunday. Has Casemiro been the signing of the season? Brazilian international Casemiro has been a huge hit with Manchester United fans since making the switch from Real Madrid last summer. There were several great signings made by Premier League clubs during the window, but has the Casemiro deal topped the lot? With the Brazilian in his 30s when he made the switch to Man United, some would have felt his best days were behind him. However, if there were any doubters, Casemiro has proved them wrong and then some. He has been a vital cog in Man United's midfield machine, as the Red Devils have undergone a transition under new boss Ten Hag. Alongside the likes of Marcus Rashford and Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro has been a mainstay in the side and one of the top performers at Old Trafford this season. During his 9-year successful acting career at the Santiago Bernabeu, Casemiro has never been a major goal threat. But the 31-year-old has already scored a few big goals at Old Trafford. As Man United look to fend off their rivals in the race for the top four and reach the latter stages of the UEFA Europa League and FA Cup, Ten Hag will need his big players firing on all cylinders from now until the end of the season. Casemiro is right up there with Man United's most valuable players right now, and the midfield maestro will no doubt play a huge role for the remainder of the 2022-23 campaign. Manchester United did something versus Real Betis that they had not done in 23 years. Manchester United put one foot in the quarter-finals of the Europa League with a convincing 4-1 win over Real Betis in the first leg of their last 16 showdown at Old Trafford on Thursday evening. The win not only boosted United's hopes of reaching the final 8 of the Europa League, but also extended their undefeated streak at Old Trafford to 20 games. They have won 18 fixtures during that run, only being halted by Leeds United and Newcastle United. Marcus Rashford ties Premier League record with February's Player of the Month award. Marcus Rashford was named Premier League Player of the Month in February, equaling the record for most wins by a player in a single season. The Manchester United forward first picked up the prize back in September and has now won back-to-back awards in January and February. Rashford is the first player to win consecutive Player of the Month awards since Ilkay Gundogan won in early 2021, but perhaps more impressively, he's on par with Mohamed Salah for most wins in a season. 20-year-old Manchester United loanee could leave club permanently in the summer. Manchester United loanee Will Fish could be set for a permanent departure if he continues to impress during his loan spell, according to Edinburgh News. The 20-year-old is spending the season on loan with Scottish Premiership club Hibernian and has made a strong impression with his performances in recent weeks. Fish has scored 2 goals in 11 matches for Hibs, whilst keeping 5 crucial clean sheets in that time. His contract with the Red Devils runs until 2025 and the club have included the option to trigger an additional year. However, if there is no place for him in the first team under Erik ten Hag next season, the youngster will likely push for an exit route. There is no buy clause in his loan deal with the Scottish side, so both clubs will have to negotiate a potential transfer. Ten Hag is reportedly eyeing a new centre-back this summer. Harry Maguire looks set to leave Old Trafford and the manager will seek competition for Raphael Varane and Lisandro Martinez. Given he's an academy prospect, the manager should be keeping tabs on Fish's performances throughout his time in Scotland to determine whether or not he has a long-term place in the squad.